What if I told you everything that you think you know about the universe was wrong? How about if I said right now there is a group of people behind the veil of this world keeping our species safe? You'd probably call me tinfoil hat crazy, and you may be right, but in the late 1800s, that's all everyone was talking about. Meet Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Accredited for bringing the Eastern world over to the West, you can thank her for yoga, psychics, mediums, and a sense of spirituality. Blavatsky and her friends sought out the truth of the universe and to unlock the powers we all may have inside of us. Now, it's time to pick up where she left off. I'm Sam Pelissero, a video editor from New Jersey and the host of the Shmee podcast. I've taken it upon myself to investigate the broad horizons of spirituality and convinced my best friends to join me on the journey. Can aligning all 7 chakras give you psychic powers? Does the astral plane even exist? Or was Blavatsky just another fraud? Let's investigate.
When we step into the light, we see the soul.
Hey, you're the first one here. Oh my god, hello stars. You threw it on.
This is gonna be a day, isn't it?
Oh, it's gonna be a fucking day.
I'm Dana Clark.
What are your suspicions about what we're investigating today?
I have no idea. I mean, like...
Are you ready for this?
Like, no. You made us bring exercise clothes,
Yep.
so, like, we'll see how this goes.
Yep.
I don't think any of us, like, exercise very often, so... Except for you.
Who said that was for exercise, though?
That's more concerning, so...
Shmee! Who dat?
I can't open the door.
Oh, Dana, can you get the door for him? Hi, Shmee! He got the
scared I was
coffee.
gonna drop these.
Oh my god. Aw, see, this is why Ryan's the best friend.
I'm Ryan Ross. Me and Sam grew up together in the same neighborhood in New Jersey.
You don't need to give all that.
We've been doing crazy shit ever since then, so...
Hey!
How you doing?
I thought you had a pizza for a second.
No.
What's
Nothing
up?
like a have pizza.
No, just really quick, reintroduce yourself for the people at home who may have not watched.
I'm Greg.
Okay. Okay, that's it. Whatever, it's fine.
Oh, and by the way, I meant to give this to you,
What is it?
but like I forgot to include it. So.
Where was that? Where'd you get that?
At some store in Asbury.
Oh, sick. Shmee, thanks.
The amount of people who asked me like what we were doing today, I'm like,
Oh yeah, you have no idea.
really couldn't tell ya.
It'll all be revealed in due time. Okay. Hi guys. So you have absolutely no idea what we are investigating today.
Can you start that intro over again?
Yeah. I wanted to build the suspense, but then I also regretted it because in the process of trying to plan this investigation, every single person that I had prior booked flaked on me because apparently what we're investigating, they don't feel comfortable talking about the camera, which is weird to me. So, the original plan was for us to investigate spirituality, but I couldn't find a single source for all these things. You know, I read this book, flop. I read this book, flop. I read this book, flop. So then, doing the research, not only did I find 3 people in my life who had connections with people about this. Not only did I go on the internet and Google, like, where did spirituality come from? Where did this come from, that come from? Today, and this investigation, is about spirituality, but around one person and their theories and their life and their times. So today, guys, we'll be investigating the one and only Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Okay, so.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
All right. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky is accredited for bringing all of the theories, the lifestyles, the spirituality, the religion of the Eastern world of India over to America back in the late 1800s.
Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, or also known as HPB, was born in 1831 in the Ukraine. She was known for having visions, speaking to invisible playmates as a child, and she often dreamed of being a heroine in wars in past lives. In her early years, she traveled the world, primarily the Eastern world.
So would you say she was the original Eat, Pray, Love?
Sure. I know it's complicated as hell. Alright. But by the end of the investigation, we will have experienced all the above. So, to break it down exactly what
Is that a Nazi symbol?
It came from Indians
Thank you.
first.
Yeah.
They took it. It's a symbol of peace,
Yes, yes, exactly.
right? Thank you.
Greg Catali in the house.
Come on, someone else film.
Along her travels, she discovered spiritual mysteries and truths in India, the Americas, and primarily Tibet. She made a living performing seances and connecting to the supernatural. She was a medium. Some say she could make objects and people appear and disappear. Crystal! Her physical manifestations always came true. In 1870, Helena moved to New York City.
When she moved to New York City, she met Henry Steele Olcott, who was just like her. He was known in New York City for being a psychic, for being able to talk to the dead, for believing in entities.
Did she move there because she heard about him?
No,
or-
she just moved there, and then people were like, oh, you're weird. We know someone else weird just like you. You should go head up with him. And they became best friends forever.
With benefits.
No, actually.
There was no sexual contact with them, as far as is known. At the time, spiritualism was a very exciting subject to Americans. It was most commonly found in performances in the vaudeville circuit. Henry Steele Olcott was a prosperous New York City lawyer with a lingering interest in spiritualism from his youth. He was also the first American of European ancestry to make the formal conversion to Buddhism.
They said that we are not twin flames, meaning you're both are from the same soul split, and the universe has finally brought you back together like your soulmates.
Yep.
We are kindred spirits. Kindred spirits is like us, like me and Greg are kindred spirits. Like we are meant to be in each other's lives, but we don't want to touch each other because that'd be weird.
Blavatsky and Olcott met at a seance being performed by the famous Eddy brothers. The Eddy brothers were known for their psychic powers, and their farm in Vermont was referred to the spirit capital of the universe. The spirits Helena and Henry encountered together there were numerous, and some were familiar to Blavatsky. These manifestations showed Olcott just how extraordinary she was. And it was in this moment that he said, "Our acquaintance began in smoke, but it ignited a great and prominent fire."
And then they realized, we're onto something here. What if we created all of our theories into a religion for other people to practice who have the same beliefs as we do? So together, Helena and Henry created Theosophy.
Theology teaches that there is an ancient and secretive brotherhood of spiritual adepts known as the Masters, who are centered in Tibet. These Masters are believed to have cultivated great wisdom and supernatural powers. The Theosophical movement is the belief and teaching that the purpose of human life is spiritual emancipation.
The reason why I picked Helena Blavatsky as the point person to drive all this home is she didn't do this because she wanted people to believe her, that she needed people to believe the things that she thought that, the world was about. She was all about, I want to get to the bottom of this world that we live in. She wanted to know the truth. What is the world? What else is out there?
I don't want to be that person like I was last time, but I don't really know how much I believe in psychics or astrology or numerology or anything like that.
Oh, Dana, get ready.
I think Dana got a balanced breakfast for today. I'm just saying, like, I've been researching a little bit more about tarot cards.
Uh-huh.
And, like, after your mom was over that one night and we were like talking about things, you like have to go in to it like wanting to get something out of it. Like, it's not like the psychic reading where they're telling you.
Come here.
I feel like.
So I feel like we should all go in with like, you don't have to say it what it is, but like
No.
have an idea of something
You
we
do.
want to get out of it.
Like, I feel like with those things, like tarot card readings and like psychics, you don't go in like, oh yeah, I just wonder if I'm like you go in wanting something.
They're
Yeah,
telling
but,
you that
like,
like
if they-
something in your life
So, like,
dramatically
there's
is
a
going to
card-
happen.
There's a card that's like the death card, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna die or someone in your life is gonna die. It could mean like the ending of something.
No, but listen.
But if you had like if your job ended,
Yeah.
because you quit or
Yeah.
or you were fired or whatever, you're gonna then say, oh, that was supposed to happen. But like if you quit your job, you did that.
So today we are traveling up north to visit my friend Sal, who's going to read our tarot cards and tell us all about his psychic abilities. This time, I made gummy snack packs
Oh
for
my
everyone.
God. Oh my
So-
god, diabetes.
I know! So Ryan, you get a snack pack. Dana, you get a snack
Aw,
pack. And
Thanks.
I'll just hold on to yours.
Grow it. Yeah.
Oh, that was close to
Oh
us.
my.
North Brunswick, Sal Studio. He's a reader of tarot cards. He's gonna explain his beliefs on it and everything. And I'm just really excited. So, cut to dramatic walking out to the card montage like last time.
RuPaul's hosting SNL.
I saw, but with Justin Bieber as a music host.
Boycotting.
I know, he sucks. Yummy yum, like, can we not? Took 5 people to write that song. Girl, bye. Alright, that's it. That's amazing. Alright, cut. Oh yeah. Go up. Yeah, okay. Don't fit.
My family is from this little tiny village in Italy. I was raised in America, but I was raised Italian in America, if that makes any sense. So when I was younger, I used to like see premonitions in the house. And because, so my mom being like Catholic and like kind of into that kind of stuff, I would tell her, my mom, like I saw this, she's like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, unless you see this symbol, it doesn't mean anything. My mom was always really cool with like, you know, letting me know it wasn't weird and, you know, it wasn't a strange thing. In Italian culture, we do the malocchi.
What's that?
It's the evil eye. If someone puts the evil eye on you, malocchio. It's it literally means like the bad eye.
Okay.
My grandmother would take it off of me. Yeah, so normally it's passed down generationally from your grandmother to the daughters, and they would learn how to do it, but she would clear my energy essentially, and she would pray over me and stuff like that. So I learned from a young age that it wasn't weird, and like there was a way to like harness it.
That's so crazy. That's your mom.
So scrying, so like the malocchi is literally like they take a bowl of water, and if you would go to like the village witch essentially, and it's usually it's usually like a grandmother of some sort or the village witch back, you know, when there were witches all over. But if you thought someone was casting a spell on you or the evil eye, you would go to this person and they would usually take a bowl of water, or sometimes they put drops of oil in the water, or they throw grains in the water, and they use it to see. It's a form of scrying, so they look at it and they can see kind of like the crystal ball effect, and they can see like, okay, you have 5 people talking about you and stuff like that. So it was always like a weird thing, and I always had altars in my room, always.
Really?
Yeah, and even growing up Catholic, I had like Buddhas and Ganesh and like for me, it's like anything that brought me energy, I would have it. And my mom never, I mean, we're really Catholic, obviously, but my mom never like batted an eyelash. She was just like, whatever, as long as it keeps you calm, she didn't care. And Italians are very, very superstitious.
So, I mean, this kind of just explains it then exactly where you feel like you've been able to get your ability from.
Yeah.
Is that it's always been in your life.
Everyone channels differently, everyone picks up differently.
Totally,
Some people
totally.
can hear. But for me, and I think because my third eye was already strong from movement, that I would see things and even when I read people, I don't actually look at the person because I don't want to read their body language or anything like that, but I usually look straight down, and for me, it's just like, it's the easiest way to channel, if that makes sense, yeah.
I am very skeptical about
Okay.
it. I want to believe in all of this, but
Yeah.
I've said it before, I'm very skeptical.
Of course.
But I feel like a lot of people, psychics or tarot card readers or whatever, they do sugarcoat it because it's what you want to hear and it's what you need to hear. So
So you're gonna pick 5 cards and then just stack them in a pile. So anytime the cards are upside down, it's usually a blockage or a reversal in that energy. So if this card, if it's upright, it would mean the first meaning, and then if it's upside down, it would mean the opposite. This card has to do with literally hovering over a community. So if you're feeling like you're being hovered over, or you feel like you can't get out of the community, if someone's blocking you, it's supposed to happen this way. It's actually forcing you from not having to sever a tie. So eventually this community will have to either be shifted out or moved in some way. But the hovering, whether it's hovering over you or you're hovering over them of not wanting to let them go, it's actually going to make, when you have to sever, it's going to make it a little bit easier. It's not a sever like quitting or anything like that.
if your job ended,
Yeah.
because you quit, that was supposed to happen.
It's more of vibrationally, the community is going to change.
So I don't love my job. I've been going back and forth, am I gonna leave? Am I gonna quit? What am I gonna do? But there is that sense of someone hovering over me, and then I don't quit every time because I don't want to sever those ties. I don't want to do that. So that was a little.
And the reason why it's telling you now, and readings are always telling you kind of what's to come, so you're prepared for it energetically. So when it starts to feel like it's becoming too much, the hovering is becoming too much, the severing is going to happen on its own. The reason why it's going to happen in this way is because you need that connection for some reason. It's almost like if you severed it now, it's almost like you don't want to piss people off. Let them piss themselves off on their own, and so it's a little bit easier later on.
So they both had this belief, right? Yeah. And she herself was wondering, how do I know all this? Yeah. Was it from a past life? Am I just making it up in my mind? So Blavatsky wrote books on her beliefs. Don't get triggered. One was called Isis Unveiled, but Isis meant a different thing back in the day.
Are people taking things that meant something else back in the day and just changing them
Don't
now?
we all? He believed that all of her writings in Isis Unveiled and The Secret Doctrine were coming through her from these spiritual adepts. Or she called it her invisible hand helpers. And I'm like...
These invisible helpers were the adepts and masters guiding her through astral projection. She said it herself, "My masters are dictating me, and I see it in the astral light. I am here in this country, sent by my lodge on behalf of truth in modern spiritualism, and it is my utmost sacred duty to unveil what it is and expose what it is not. For people seem to care every day less for truth and every hour
more for gold." So again, going back to the point of theosophy, is she's telling everyone, you guys are getting so off the right course of what we're here for, what life is all about. You're focusing on gold and not realizing that there's so much more to life than that.
Behind this world, there is a small coterie of individuals controlling things. These masters are in separate brotherhoods, helping to control the progress of the planet, spreading their wisdom. 2 of the adepts, Katumi and Moria, corresponded with Blavatsky.
With religion, I don't know enough about religion to
believe in one God or another.
Yes.
But I believe in something bigger than myself. I always say I believe in the universe, and I feel that it like course corrects itself.
Yes.
So like if something really messed up happens, if something happens that really sets your life off course, like something else is gonna happen to like reset it on the course it's supposed to be on.
When this is happening, are Kathumi and Moria, are they actually people that are alive? That are like are they spirits?
He believed that they were astro projecting themselves into her to use her physical body to write the laws and the secrets and the truth of the universe through her, because she believed in it so much that they could trust her and she would allow them to come in. And Dana is
How does she know? Like, who made the connection? She made the connection that they were doing that, or someone outside realized it was happening.
Moria was said to be the Emperor of Atlantis, King Arthur, and one of the three wise men. Theosophists believe heavily in reincarnation. They believe that the masters spread their wisdom through reincarnation and astral projection. They say they can do more for the world as invisible personalities. Astral projection is a term used to describe an intentional out-of-body experience that assumes the existence of a soul or consciousness called the astral body that is separate from the physical body and is capable of traveling outside of it throughout the universe. It is sometimes reported in association with dreams and forms of meditation. So, going off of astral projection, super creepy. The night, I think the night or a night after our first day of shooting, I was lying in bed and I woke up around, I don't know, like 3:12, which is when the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest.
The witching hour.
You literally woke up again at that exact time?
Yeah, I always wake up at that time, and it's really weird. I woke up at the time because I had woken up from a dream, and in the dream, I was in Michigan, where my family's from, and there is about a half an hour drive from the town to our lake cottage. Was on this long road to the cottage, and it's just a two-way highway, literally. If you want to pass someone, you do, because that's kind of road it is. So it's at night, and I'm driving this car, and there is a semi in front of me and a semi next to me trying to get around me, and for some reason, I didn't want that semi to pass me, so I kept speeding up to avoid that semi, and then I sped up, and I got around him, and the second I hit 65, all of a sudden my car started to spin out, and for some reason, I couldn't figure out why, because in my mind, it was summertime. And my car's spinning, and I eventually correct it, and I stop, and I'm on the side of the road. And then all of a sudden, I realize all of the green on the trees around me vanishes, and it's just bare bones trees. And I realized it's not summertime, it's winter. Oh my God, it's wintertime. I hit black ice, and it's dead silence or something around me. And then I wake up in my bed, but I was in this weird state of mind where I felt as if I could feel my soul re-entering my body, and I was freezing cold. My body was so fucking cold, guys. And then I thought to myself, oh, did I not wear a shirt to bed tonight? Like, is my skin exposed? And I kind of jostled my shoulders a little bit, and I could feel the cotton of my shirt on me, and I instantly was warm. And then I let the situation kind of digest in my mind. I think I astral projected into someone's body in Michigan driving that car, and then I experienced what they were experiencing. I was inside of them for a second, and then I was freezing cold because they probably got out of their car in winter. Isn't that so weird? Come on, that's spooky.
But there's no proof that that's what happened.
This card, another balance card, but it looks like even when you are relaxed, it's almost like you always have, if you can imagine this person is underneath this person walking over them on a tightrope. So it's almost like even when you're relaxed, you're constantly looking up to see what is going to fall on top of you. It's not paranoia, but it's almost like self-sabotage in the aspect of like, I know when things start to go well, it's going to go in reverse. I know as soon as I get this, something will happen. It's just, that's what happens to me. That's what usually comes out of it. So you're causing it. The call is coming from like inside the house. You're being burdened, and then the burden just keeps adding on, because energetically, if you don't let go of it, it stays on you.
Because I don't usually vent to other people about everything all the time. Just because I feel like I want to be that support system and I don't want to burden anyone else.
Sometimes people need a good venting sesh, and sometimes these people need to be told that they're assholes and told that you can't sustain them anymore. And it's okay for you to tell someone they're an asshole, because if they're an asshole, they're an asshole. They're taking too much energy from you. Is there anything do you want to know about specifically?
I also have a lot of questions about work.
Okay.
And I think maybe relationships.
Are you in a relationship now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you want to be completely blunt? Mm-hmm. So this relationship will probably be gone within like the next, I would say like three months. You know, it's and it even could be like a new relationship, but it's still like, it's almost like this is too settled even for this relationship. It's almost too settled. It's not doing anything. You're always having to bow down to not hurt this person's feelings. It's almost like, no, it's okay. Like, I'll do this again just so you don't have to get upset, or I'll just make it easy. So if you're constantly bowing down to make this person feel better, no. If you keep them in, they will literally bring you down with them. And because they're energetically in such a low vibration that they're okay going down, if you want to keep going down, that's fine, but that's where it's going. That's all.
So I think it'd be fun if we all have like a belief meter, all right? So starting now, mine's like in the middle.
Out of, like, are we gonna do like 0 to 10?
Yeah. So 0. So right now, mine is about a 7.
So 10 is believing?
Yeah.
In terms of these different things that we're gonna get into, I believe in certain aspects of them, but I don't know entirely if you can pretty much connect them in some way. I'm at like I said, I'm at like a 2.4.
0. I 0. I want to believe. I want it to be at a 10. I really do. But I don't believe it. I don't believe in psychics. I don't believe in astrology. I don't believe in this.
0.3.
Damn.
Is there anything that you want to know about?
No, I mean just general. Life's good right now, so I don't have
Okay,
anything.
so-
Let's shake it up,
Plot
though.
twist for now.
I know.
Oh well. So it's telling you I would say, but in the next 3 months or so, it's not your money, but it's going to feel like your money is going to go in reverse a little bit, and it's because there's an energy coming in. It's almost like this person is ready. I mean, they're coming in for your gig. They're coming for you. Yeah. So it looks like this person is it's coming into your money, and it's coming into what your finances and stuff that is really important to you. So it's almost like you'll know it's the person when you feel like they're, no matter what, they're trying to pick a fight. They're just hostile. They're even actually the name of it, but hostile. Yeah, they're but it's almost like. But for some reason they're coming into you in a different way. You're not going to see this initially, but you'll see it in your own way of like, oh, they'll literally like, he would slit my throat for $12, but they're coming in for it. But it looks like there's going to be a decision, and it's they're making it a time sensitive decision only because it benefits them. So the way crystals work is usually like, I say that they choose you. So sometimes people will go into a crystal shop and say, I want love, so I'm gonna get like rose quartz. Where is it? Like this is rose quartz. It's for love. Usually the color coordinates with the chakra. So of all these crystals, say you want a rose quartz, but you're gravitated more towards this blue one.
Okay.
You chose this one. This is for like your throat center. So you may looking for love, but this will help your communication for love. So it's really important to kind of pick one that like you gravitate towards.
Yeah.
And most times people will gravitate towards one they may not even necessarily pick at first glance, but they just like that specific one. I think of it as like it's just like any charging mechanism. So you're charging your energy with what you want it to be. So yes, it's just a rock, but it could be a rock, it could be anything that is an object. But it won't do anything without your intention. Even just having it on your counter, it's not gonna do shit. It's just a pretty rock. You have to hold it, and that's where people miss out of like, oh yeah, I bought like a fluorite, but like it's in. I'm like, okay, but you have to charge it. You have to put energy into it. So
the way that we do yoga today is not the way that yoga is supposed to be practiced. What we do today is this westernized, weird, watered down version. It's so diluted now that the whole idea of where yoga and meditation came from with the 7 chakras and the reason why there's different poses is to align your spirit. So then that way you have a clear mind, and when you get to that top crown chakra, you should be able to get through life in a clearer, more concise way than other people whose chakras are not aligned. So who's ready for
Yeah, I need that after this.
Yoga.
I need that.
Yes.
Oh, and you can feel that in the throat area.
Yeah.
And oh, you feel that buzzing in your brain?
Yeah.
So let's just one more time, we'll do Om and go through.
Has this something that you've always been into, or did something happen in your life where you felt like you had a bigger connection with this, or like how did you get into like the meditation and spirituality and things
The
like
way that I approach yoga, and the way that a lot of people, not everybody approaches yoga this way, but the way that I approach yoga, we think of yoga as the physical practice of doing warrior 2, of doing mountain pose, of doing downward facing dog. That's a method of practicing yoga, but yoga is something in and of itself. There's a definition of yoga presented in the Yoga Sutras, which is like the yoga Bible. And the first sutra says, the restraint of the mental modifications is yoga. So I interpret that as saying, it's anytime you're really focused and you're really paying attention to what your body is feeling, what your mind is doing. It's the same thing as meditation. People refer to the physical practice of yoga as a moving meditation. Press down with your sitting bones and reach up with your fingers as much as you can, and maybe you start to draw your shoulders behind your back to sort of elongate the spine, elongate the arms reaching up. Okay, so the chakras are, there's basically, there's 7 energy centers throughout the body, and they basically start at the base of the spine and go all the way up to the crown of the head. And they're located at different places, energy centers in the body. So there's the root chakra, there's the solar plexus chakra, the sacrum chakra, the heart chakra, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So what you really want to do is you want to open your chakras up as much as possible, as often as possible, and you do that through meditation, you do that through yoga. So for example, the heart chakra, if your heart chakra is closed, you might have a hard time connecting with people, you might have a hard time communicating, you might have a hard time really empathizing with others. If you do yoga poses that have to do with the heart chakra, or you meditate on the heart chakra, you might find that there's a bit of an expansion there, and you might find yourself easier to connect to others.
Knowing what he just said, would the 3 of you, from what I said before, say that my third eye is closed?
1000%.
Okay.
So this is the child's pose. This is a great place to come back to your practice, come back to your body while you're here. Maybe just roll your forehead left and right and start to wake up that third eye.
So each time that you do like a session of meditation, are you focusing on just expanding one of them? Do you move between them during the session, or?
If you feel blocked up, you can, my throat chakra, like, I haven't been communicating lately well, and I can't seem to get my words out. Maybe my throat chakra is blocked. So then maybe you sit in meditation and you just think about expansion. You think about ways that you can clarify your message, and you can just think about what this area feels like. And that's really the core of meditation is paying attention to feeling, paying attention to what's going on in your body. So you can just feel like what's going on here, and a little bit of, maybe you start untying some knots with your mind in that area. front palm. Inhale, reach. And into your right leg, then you come into warrior 2. Flip your front palm and reach up. Reverse warrior. Or you can reach over your ear toward me, holding here for 3, and stretch. So now you're gonna roll onto the outside of your left foot. Again, you can bring the leg down if you want to, but just coming into your side plank on the other side. And you can reach forward if you like. Just square forward, and then bring it down. Come onto the ball of the back foot. We're just gonna stretch this out once. And bend in. Okay, so we're coming into our lion's pose. This is going to open up the throat chakra for all of us. So you're going to come into your standard tabletop position, and then you're going to open your mouth as wide as you can, stick your tongue out as wide as you can, and exhale very forcefully like a lion roaring, and it looks like... All right? And you're going to take the top of your head down onto the mat and just let it rest in that cradle right there. Walk your feet forward from this place. You can start to lift yourself up, just supporting with the forearms, coming up here, and then you're in your headstand.
They say that energetically, when you find the complete balance of masculine and feminine, that's when you master handstand, and that's when you can completely align yourself into that perfect alignment. So I think because I was equally as feminine as I was masculine, it somehow managed to just fill in.
Okay, so just walk your feet forward. It's close. Very close. It's close. Oh! Hey! Shmee! Further. Exhale, twist a little more. One last time, inhale, lengthen. And on the exhale, unravel. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. Namaste. The next time we meet, I have hired a psychic.
Is this someone that you know or someone you found?
I found, but I went over to her house 2 weeks ago.
But like, also like psychics and astrology, there's so many people that like, maybe there are out there, but there's so many people that are like, yeah, I'm psychic.
Yeah.
And then they just look you up before you come to an appointment.
Guys, when I show you what happened, I have it on paper. My grandma came through when I met with her. I didn't go there for a reading. I just meant to have like a business conversation. She knew nothing about me. She knew like the kind of Italian cookies my grandma made, pizzelles. She knew that I planned to move to New York.
That's a normal Italian cookie.
She didn't know who I was.
I'm not trying to, but I'm just saying that there are so many people out there that are like I went to a psychic before, and it was like one on like the Asbury Boardwalk that was just like real stupid. It was not real.
She drew a pizzelle.
Guys, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so let me go through this with you guys, all right?
Whoa.
She goes, I keep picturing the letter M in the middle of things. I picture M, and it's like in the middle. And I go, my grandma, my mom, and my sister's all middle names are Marie, and they come from my grandma's middle name is Marie. So how would the psychic have known that? How would she have known that, Dana?
Saying you saw an M in the middle. How many fucking white girls do you know that have the middle name Marie? So many.
But that's so specific.
Right, but
it
also,
was all
Sam,
things coming from my grandma.
But I also feel like you
Dana,
feed into it.
Is,
you take the things
I know,
that she says.
but I didn't go to her for this. I didn't expect to walk out with this.
Right, I know. But like, what I'm saying is you go because you want to believe.
I hope and I pray that when she comes here, Dana, you are shook to the core that she does something that all of a sudden you have to be like, you know what? I believe.
Are you getting a tattoo?
Yes.
But are so outdated that they don't make copies now. You know what I mean?
And the wording's probably all weird.
Oh yeah, it's probably like, thou art shall believe that the brotherhood, thou art shall be here.
Yeah, I do believe that I am where I should be. Are you for real with that? Go on.
Look what happened in the last documentary. We're talking about all this spooky ooky stuff, and then Dana has sleep paralysis demon in her room, and it's like, your mother sucks cocks in hell.
She did not. It did not say that.
for the record.
Like, point 3 come from someone who literally meditated on the car down to the Pine Barrens.
He was fucking sleeping. That was
No,
that was just
I
his
believe
excuse to
I
say,
believe in the
like,
meditation. I thought this was just HPV.
No.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be.
Okay,
Stop calling
so then
her that.
So usually, the knocking is when you clear the energy from the deck. So, because I just read her, I don't want her energy in. Not that I don't like you, but. Girl.
But you're a bitch.
But your energy's toxic.